been a long day. Got the engine back for the night rod, finally. So, here in a couple days, me and my dad are gonna set it in, and then he's gonna head home because he's got stuff to do, and I'm going to put it back together. As of right now, it's Wednesday. He's coming up on Friday. And the V-Rod rally over in Greenville at Fitzgerald Motorsports, it basically starts a week from tomorrow. So I'm not going up on Thursday, but I am going to ride over to Muncie here for the drags on that Friday. And then the Saturday morning is the Dyno Shootout at his shop. So I'm really going to crank and try to get it all done. Worst case, to run it on the dyno Saturday. And when I say get it all done, I mean, like, I have to get it back together, make sure there's no bugs, no leaks, nothing, which there shouldn't be. It's a motorcycle engine. I mean, it's not like it's an old small block or some other piece of junk. No offense, but facts, and then I have to get a good tune on it. So I'm going to have like a good bass tune for a cammed setup with a 1250, but you got to tune it right for the pipe. So I got to do a boatload of sessions after I get it running, do the break-in, change the oil, all that stuff. Then I'm going to take it out. Then I'm going to take it out, start beating on it. A little bit easier this time, just so I don't so I don't spin another bearing. And then as soon as I get a good tune, what I deem a good tune based on data, we will run it at the shop on Saturday morning. So yeah, gives me about a week and a half from this moment. And not even really a week and a half, because it's like freaking 8 o'clock and I'm ready to eat. I've been gone for like 5 hours, so yeah. So we'll pick this one back up in a couple days. I'm going to do a time lapse, me and my dad putting the engine in, so have fun checking that out. Hopefully by the end of this video, we'll have her on the road. We'll see. Stay tuned. Welcome to the party. As you might have noticed, I suck at filming intros, so my dad showed up and I set the GoPro up to time lapse and we got to work. It happens. I'm more concerned with like trying to get this thing done than filming, which it's not great for you guys, but made a lot of progress. Engine is set back in the frame at least. It's all, it's torqued in, pivot shaft. It's torqued in, rear wheel's torqued, belt's torqued to spec, everything. The bike is now officially a roller again. It's the first time it's been off that platform in like 2 months. Yeah, so now I'm gonna, get to the fun stuff of connectors, installing throttle bodies, putting the radiator on, which I actually flushed a few weeks ago before I went on vacation. Funny story with the radiator. I took some compressed air and was like, okay, I'm just going to try to blow out whatever's in it and then go from there. Well, it had metal in it, which that's usually the case when you have a motor that decided to eat itself. And so I called up my buddies who own a performance shop, Slate Performance Automotive in Beech Grove, and I said, hey, can we hook this thing up to the parts washer and just run it both directions for a while, whatever. And so we did that. We got some hose clamps and just hooked it up to the oil cooler. Well, they left and forgot about it, so like the first night it ran for like 5 hours straight, which is kind of funny. So I told them, I said I should have made a video of me like drinking through it like it was a straw, but I didn't want to do that. So yeah, anyway, you get the idea. That would have been a bad idea. But yeah, we ran it through both directions and tipped it and turned it and did all the fun stuff just to make sure we got everything loose, and then put brake clean through it, compressed air, etc. It was a whole thing, and it's bone dry. It's good now, so I'm confident it'll be okay. And it goes from the the oil cooler right into the filter anyway, so it should catch any other debris. My buddy, yeah, he used to work for a NASCAR team, and he said when they, you know, blew up engines, they do the same thing we did here, so it's fine. I'm not gonna like freak out and try to find an oil cooler, which you can. Scott Fitzgerald now makes them actually, which is good, like $250 or $300 or something for the oil cooler. But if this whole salty thing, which is a radiator and an oil cooler, it's like $750 because you get the whole shebang with the fans and everything. Pretty ridiculous. So not doing that. I talked to him and I'm confident, whatever, you know. So I just got back from the auto parts store. I picked up 5 quarts of Shell Rotella T, which is the break-in oil for this that I have to use. And then of course I have AMSOIL I'm going to put in it once I get done with the break-in process. But then I picked up my coolant also, so which is like peak final charge 50/50. It's the same thing chemically as what Harley sells, except, you know, it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. And I hate the perk of not having to deal with a Harley dealer. So, but before I do anything, I have a tool graveyard. God, my God, the garage is a disaster right now. We were turning and burning, just trying to get this thing done because he had stuff to do today, and I was like, hey, just help me get it set in, and we'll torque all the big stuff that's easier with 2 people, and just go from there. So thanks, Dad, for the help. I appreciate it. That really helped me out. We're gonna clean up this graveyard of stuff, and then I'm gonna put this up on the lift and get back to work. So hopefully we can get this thing started today. That's my goal. Stay tuned. Time for another time lapse. Alright, well, I'm finally back in the garage, and, you know, as usual, this is taking me, like, multiple days to get finished up, so, where did I leave off at? Oh, yeah. So this morning, took a quick walk around. Radiator's on, you know, coolant hoses are fitted, oil lines are fitted, pretty much all the connections are made. I still need to, I need to route the overflow hose for the radiator. It was, like, tucked under here. I'm not going to put the airbox on yet, obviously. All the connections up here are made. I need to check the torque on the clamps down here holding the throttle body, because I just got them pretty loose for now. And yeah, you saw, I think, God, what day was it? Yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Torqued everything down, you know, frame-wise, so it's back to being a roller. And then, you know, the fun part is I got the Fitzgerald ground pounder installed yesterday. Actually, well, I finished it this morning to wrestle the collector on because it was kind of fighting me. But it's in place now, and I need to put the O2 sensors in it, which that's what this cable is. This actually goes to the front one, so I'm going to neatly dress this cable, you know, inside the mesh loom here, and somehow, you know, take the slack out. I don't freaking know. I'll have it up in here probably for that one, and then this one here is already, its connector is right here, so it'll be nice and easy. So I'm gonna finish that up, and then put the overflow tank on, and then it's ready to fill with oil and coolant, and we'll get it primed and crank it over, I guess. It's very nerve-wracking getting to this point. It's like, it's been so long and just so much anticipation and so much, well, time, energy, I like that. Time, money, energy, and effort has gone into just making all this happen. And it's like, I'm almost afraid to start it now, because then it's like, crap, what if something's wrong or whatever, which it's probably okay, but still. So yeah, I'm gonna set the old GoPro back up, time lapse what I have left, and then we're gonna come back shortly, hopefully, and get this thing cranked up for its break-in run. So stay tuned. There she blows. So yeah, guess it's time to make the magic happen, right? So right now, the last thing I need to do, oh yeah, you're not supposed to see this yet. This gauge cluster being all pretty and white is a video that I haven't gotten around to editing yet, so anyway. So we're gonna flash the ECU. So I have the ECU on run mode, which basically turns it on. We'll go to custom tunes, and then I have this random one that I found that I made some edits to. It's not random, but it's supposed to just be a Bub 7 2-into-1. You know, it's a 2-into-1 pipe. It's for a 1250cc, so it's close enough for this for now until I can auto tune it. So we're gonna flash it. Things just take a while sometimes. There we go. Reset learned fuel trim values. Yes. This is necessary only if you change any air fuel related parameters. I really think we did, considering, you know, new cams and different displacement and all that, so. And this gauge cluster makes it look like a brand new bike. I like the way like the red just kind of goes with the red on the power vision. It's really cool. So while that's doing its thing, I'm getting ready to actually push it out, and I'm gonna pull the fuel pump relay, not relay, the fuel pump fuse, which is right here, this top blue one, which on the other, so this is supposed to be like over here, but previous owner, yeah, if you watch any other videos, you know there's some weird stuff that went on with how things are located back here, because there used to be a power commander here. Hey, there we go. It must have got done. I just heard the fuel pump prime, so waiting for ECU to restart. So anyway, I'm gonna pull that fuse, take it out, and crank it a few times to prime it with oil, because it's literally bone dry, especially in the top end. There's like a galley in here where it holds a lot of oil. So we're gonna prime it a couple times. Turn key off. Yeah, same as always. So, all right, put that in the off position. Guess I'm gonna lower it down and push it out, so you know I don't get yelled at for rattling the walls in the house when I start it, because this guy here is gonna be rowdy. So I've been waiting like 3 months for this, and I said it before, I almost don't want to hit the button because I'm like, so much anticipation has been leading up to this point. Time to lower it and take it out, and we'll go from there. I thought it was going to be like a little bit louder than the Reinhardt that I pulled off. No way, dude. This thing is like straight up drag bike status. It is so loud. Like, I'm not going to be able to take this to work like super early in the morning at all, like I thought I was going to, because it's just going to wake up literally the entire neighborhood. Like, I love it though. It's exactly what I wanted. I'm going to pick back up on the warm-up, and then hopefully test riding video, maybe tomorrow morning or something. I don't know. We'll see. So, but she's good. 3 months, and we're finally here. I'm so excited. Like, I cannot put into words how excited I am for this moment. Like, I've been killing myself the last few days just trying to get it together, and I've had stupid, dumb problems, and some of those have been my own fault because just, I make mistakes, whatever. I have to let this cool down totally, so I'm done for the night. So I will pick back up maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. We'll see. All right, well, we are back in the garage on this fine Saturday morning, after most likely pissing off my entire neighborhood last night. So, came back out here this morning, didn't see any leaks or anything. Yeah, so right now what I'm gonna do, I took the radiator shroud and, you know, took it out there, degreased it, and washed it, so I got it drying. But I'm going to try to get all the covers and everything back on the bike, and then give it a good wipe down since it's been sitting here and it's been dusty for a while. I'm going to try to do like maybe a detail later this week, but I still need to, alright, calm down. I still need to do some testing. So I'm not going to fully detail it yet until I'm done with the first oil change, which I might be doing today, I don't know. So yeah. She's loud and rowdy, that's for damn sure. We're going to take this mess of covers and stuff, air cleaner, covers, you know, radiator guards, whatever you want to call them, get all that stuff back on the bike. Same thing with the pulley cover, it's going to go on, these are going to go on. Well, I'm going to get back to work, and hopefully we're going to do another startup with, you know, full warm-up, and then I'm going to take it out and test ride it, see what we got. Had the bike running for about a week and a half, something like that. Yeah, it's running really, really good overall. So we're actually the week after the V-Rod rally right now. And pretty much took it, had it dynoed. It only dynoed at like 118 because number one, it was a 100% humid day and everybody's numbers were down. And number two, I've not really had time to work on the tune for this thing and get it done. So it was running pretty rich that day, which I did just kind of as a safety measure. But I've refined it a few more times since then, and I like to think it's getting closer. It's by no means there yet, so I figured, like I said a minute ago, I was going through and editing all the footage, which you've probably seen before this point, and my god, it was like 30 minutes worth of stuff. So I was like, by the time I put that other ride in there, so I was like, well, I'll just make this the actual ride, because the other one was just me kind of screwing around auto-tuning. So I figured I'd make this one the actual ride to get a few good rips in, blown through a couple gears, because, you know, that's what everybody comes for, right? So we're going to take it out and go for a quick ride here. I have a lot of neighbors outside right now, and I'm sure they're thrilled that I'm just firing this loud bastard up. I usually like to let my bikes warm up a lot more before I get them out, but I'm trying not to annoy the absolute hell out of my neighbors. So I fire it up, let it run for a few seconds, and then just kind of more or less idle out of my neighborhood, keep it about 2,000 RPM, which it's fine, but I mean, it's been running for, I don't know, a couple minutes now, and I'm not even up to full temp yet. The D-cell popping isn't near as bad as it used to be. I mean, right now it's not quite warmed up all the way, so it's adding a little bit of extra fuel. And actually, I think it's actually running a little bit lean. So I think what I need to do, when I open up the software and look at like the warm-up fuel, because there's like different steps, you know, from certain temperatures down low all the way to where it's, I guess, kind of operating temperature, which is, I think it fully lowers the idle at about 175. Stuff like that. I need to increase the fuel a little bit, basically leading up to that point, because it seemed like it was kind of choking and sputtering a little bit, just being kind of cold-natured, you know, kind of like the old carb bikes used to do, which I could tune that out of this pretty easily. It's all part of it. It's little fun stuff. Sounds good. I just need to get more data. I'm getting the map kind of homed in more with auto-tune sessions as it is right now. Like, I'm obviously not auto-tuning right now. I'm just kind of like seeing how it's doing in this weather based on the last map that I, you know, flashed on it. And it's getting pretty close where it's not making a lot of changes by itself in cruise range. What I'm seeing is that it's still too rich, and that's, you know, kind of like what Scott said whenever we put the bike on the dyno, which I think I'll throw a video of that in right here. You can see it sounds good. It's loud and freaking rowdy, but it's only making 118 horse with this setup, which it should be closer to like 130, 135 when it's not humid as shit like it was that day, so that wouldn't have ever happened. So we'll get there. I mean, it just takes time, and I've not had a whole lot of time. I mean, that was literally like 5 days ago that I ran it, and then I rode it all weekend. Like I wasn't really worried about tuning, and you know, I've been trying to catch back up on life since the past 2 weeks have been consumed by this thing and trying to get it ready for the rally and all that. And plus the weather absolutely blows. If you can't tell, I feel like I'm just out here dodging rain clouds as usual. A lot of dirt here. I got a lot of construction going on. Ooh. It broke loose a little bit. I didn't even really get on it. That's funny. I just brought the RPM up and the back tire just decided, nope, not doing it today. I gotta get used to that. It was the old setup was not like that. Like I could goose it on a dirty road like this and it didn't really care, but got a little bit more ass behind this new setup. I've been like tuning the shit out of the mid-range because that's the easiest thing to tune. Like when I just go through and ride it normally, that's where it's sitting. It's sitting here and, you know, around the cruise range, the mid-range, and then obviously adding a little bit of fuel like that, getting a little bit heavy. It's still not perfect. I mean, if you really watch the values, you can see the targets. They're kind of but it's getting there. You know, it friggin' takes time. And I'm by no means like a professional tuner, so it's probably going to take me a little bit more, you know, just trial and error and time to get this thing set right. And freaking everybody, like I had some comments from family and people who just quite frankly don't know what they're talking about. Like, oh, you blew up your engine by messing with the tune. Well, no, the hell I didn't. Like, does nobody remember the times with carburetors? Like, when we just take a screwdriver and screw around with the settings on a carb or change jets and see what works, and we didn't freaking blow up our engines, so get the hell out of here with that shit. That ain't what happened. That's funny. Always got the haters, man. I'm by no means an expert, but this ain't my first rodeo. You know what I mean? I know what to look for when I'm looking at the data. And I've got some good pointers from, you know, obviously the experts on V-Rods. And I've done a lot of research when it comes to setting these things up, and just, I mean, fuel injection in general. I feel like a lot of people don't realize, like, I'm no stranger to cars in general and fuel injection and all that shit. Like, I know to not go out and just start feeding it timing down low, you know, and doing dumb shit like that. Anyway, enough of that mini rant. It just kind of bugs me. Freaking everybody's always like, oh, you did this, you did. No, stop. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to freaking intentionally just go ham and blow up my shit. That's one of the reasons why I got the AutoTune setup with the Power Vision, because now I have O2 sensor data. Because before I had to pull spark plugs, and if you've ever pulled spark plugs out of a V-Rod, it's a colossal fucking pain in the ass, and yeah, good luck doing it on the side of the road, buddy. That ain't gonna happen. Which, that's part of the reason I modified my airbox, just so I could, you know, get the plugs and everything out. Stuff like that a lot easier. Oh, I got that reverb off the concrete here. I should have passed this truck. I was too busy freaking talking my own head off. It is an Amazon truck near an Amazon warehouse, so maybe. Which, by the way, having an Amazon warehouse like a couple miles from my house is fucking awesome. I've had shit show up like same day. I love like taking, you know, just moving my hand a little bit and seeing the changes that I get in the O2 readouts. It's just like, it just shows me like just how much work you have to put into really dialing in a map.
And I mean, I talked to a lot of guys who have done it, and it all takes time. I mean, you take your data and you just make your changes, you know. Try one thing. If it doesn't do what you want, you try another. You know, you only really change one thing at a time, because if you start trying to change a whole bunch of shit at once, and you can't keep track of what's actually useful and what's causing issues, you know what I mean? That's kind of common practice when you're, you know, I guess dialing in anything really. Yeah, we got enough temperature, and we got enough temperature in the coolant, so I'm sure the oil is pretty warm by now too. Damn stop sign ruining all my fun. So yeah, you can see it's nice and fun now. It sounds badass when you get on it. I love it. I want to talk about for a minute about how freaking sweet it is to be back on a motorcycle. Like, just being able to get off work and get out here and just rip on the throttle a little bit. Like, God, what a great stress reliever. Like, you will never convince me that paying somebody for therapy will do a better job than what this does. I just ain't buying it. The moment I hit that starter button in the garage, like, just immediately puts a smile on my face. God, that exhaust sounds so good. I don't even have to gun it all the way to 9,000 RPM. Like, I am good just ripping through it like that. And that sound, just hearing it growl like when it comes down to shift, is awesome. And I'm sure it's probably pretty loud, honestly, on the microphone. But believe me, it doesn't know justice. As always is with exhausts on, you know, that are recorded on cheap equipment like what I'm using. But anyway, I gotta get back. I'm meeting somebody at my house shortly. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad to finally be back on my V-Rod. That's the point of this. That's the point of this video. Glad to be back on the V-Rod. That's what life's about, right? Hauling ass. Just kicked loose a little bit. It never gets old. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.